Wow, look at you guys. Oh, well, hello, Obama land. How are you guys doing? Oh, wow, it's wonderful to be back with all of you tonight. You know, the lights are down, but I saw some familiar faces out there. And I hope this has been a spectacular few days for you all, hugging folks that you haven't seen in years and reminiscing about that day 15 years ago. Whew, 15 years ago.
Few moments have captured the spirit of progress and celebration, quite like the legalization of same-sex marriage on June 26, 2015. As rainbow flags waved and jubilant crowds gathered across the nation, an unexpected story unfolded within the walls of the White House. First Lady Michelle Obama, moved by the historic occasion, made an impulsive decision that would become a cherished memory and a powerful symbol of her connection to the American people. The Supreme Court decision and its impact. On June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court made a landmark decision that would forever change the landscape of American society. It effectively legalized gay marriage across all 50 states. The decision was the culmination of decades of struggle, activism, and legal battles fought by the LGBTQ+ community and their allies. As news of the ruling spread, a wave of jubilation swept the nation. In cities large and small, people poured onto the streets, waving rainbow flags and embracing loved ones. Couples who'd been together for years, even decades, suddenly found themselves able to legally wed. In Washington, D.C., the epicenter of the celebration was the steps of the Supreme Court building. Thousands gathered there, their cheers echoing through the Capitol as they reveled in this historic moment. The crowd was a vibrant mix of people from all walks of life. The White House was a short distance away and was quick to respond to the ruling. President Barack Obama, who had publicly supported same-sex marriage since 2012, delivered a heartfelt speech from the Rose Garden. He hailed the decision as a victory for America, emphasizing it had made the union a little more perfect. As the night fell, the White House became a symbol of the momentous occasion. In a powerful gesture of solidarity, the building was illuminated in the colors of the rainbow flag, a striking visual representation of the administration's support for the LGBTQ+ community. The sight of the iconic building, awash in vibrant hues, became an instant icon of the evening, shared countless times across social media platforms. The impact of the decision reverberated far beyond Washington. State officials across the country began issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples, some working overtime to accommodate the rush of couples eager to tie the knot. As the night wore on, the celebrations continued. It was more than just a legal victory, it was a cultural watershed moment. And in the White House, watching the jubilant crowds outside, one particular resident was about to make an impulsive decision. Life inside the White House bubble. The White House, with its stately columns and manicured lawns, is an iconic symbol of American democracy. But for those who call it home, it can often feel more like a gilded cage than a residence. The Obama family, like their predecessors, found themselves living in a world where security measures and protocols dictated nearly every aspect of their daily lives. From the moment they stepped foot in the White House, the Obamas were enveloped in a cocoon of protection. Secret Service agents shadowed their every move, even within the confines of the residence. Every entrance and exit was meticulously monitored, with agents stationed at strategic points throughout the building. The family's movements were tracked and coded, their whereabouts always known to a select few. This constant surveillance, while necessary for their safety, created an unusual living situation. Simple acts like taking a walk or running an errand became complex operations requiring advanced planning and coordination. Spontaneity was a rare commodity for the first family. Michelle Obama shared an anecdote that highlighted the unexpected challenges of living in the historic building. Quote, Sasha said, "It's raining in the dining room. We said, okay, go to bed. Get out of here. Because we thought she's just trying to get us up. And then it got quiet and I heard rain. So I get up, put on my robe, cross the hall, and it's raining. Literally. A pipe that was so old had burst and it was pouring down rain." The Obamas often found themselves unaware of events unfolding just outside their windows, relying on staff or news reports to keep them informed of the pulse of the nation they led. For Michelle, this disconnect was particularly challenging. A woman who had always prided herself on staying grounded and in touch with ordinary Americans, she now found herself separated from the people she sought to serve. Their children, Malia and Sasha, also felt the weight of their circumstances. Growing up in the public eye, their teenage experiences were far from typical. Friends couldn't simply stop by. Trips to the mall or movies required extensive security preparations. The White House became both their playground and their prison. The Great Escape. As the celebrations outside the White House grew more exuberant, Michelle Obama felt an irresistible urge to join the festivities. The former First Lady, known for her down-to-earth nature, couldn't bear the thought of missing the historic moment. She approached her husband, President Obama, with her daring plan. But the commander-in-chief, burdened with the responsibilities of his office, couldn't join her escapade. She recounted her conversation with her family members as she tried to find someone to go with her. Quote, "I stuck my head into the treaty room. You want to go out and look at the lights? I asked Barack. There are tons of people out there. He laughed. You know I can't do tons of people." Undeterred, she turned to her daughters. While Sasha opted to stay behind, 16-year-old Malia was game. Mother and daughter, filled with excitement and nervous energy, began their covert operation. They slipped out of the family's private quarters, their hearts racing. The usually formal corridors of the White House now felt like the setting of the thrilling heist movie. Their first obstacle came in the form of the ever-present Secret Service. As they approached the elevator, they could hear the whispered code names that signaled their movement. Michelle made a split-second decision to avoid the elevator and take the stairs. They tried to act nonchalant despite the growing number of curious staff members and agents trailing them. Finally, they reached a door that would lead them outside. But their elation was short-lived as they discovered it was locked. An usher, doing his duty, gently reminded the First Lady of the potential media frenzy her unplanned appearance might cause. Michelle, suddenly aware of her casual attire and lack of makeup, momentarily reconsidered. But the sound of the jubilant crowd outside and the encouraging words from Malia steeled her resolve. After a brief pause, they finally managed to step out onto the White House lawn. From their vantage point, they could feel the energy of the celebration, the cheers of the crowd, the honking of car horns, and the general atmosphere of joy. In those precious minutes, Michelle Obama wasn't the First Lady, and Malia wasn't the President's daughter. They were simply two Americans sharing in the joy of progress and the promise of a more inclusive future. Their great escape, while brief, had allowed them to be part of something bigger than themselves, creating a memory they'd cherish forever. The aftermath. As Michelle and Malia Obama quietly slipped back into the White House, their hearts were full of the energy they had witnessed outside. In the days that followed, news of the First Lady's impromptu adventure began to circulate among White House staff. Some were amused by the daring escapade, and others expressed concerns about the potential security risks. But Michelle remained unapologetic about the decision, feeling it was crucial for her to connect with the American people during such a momentous occasion. For Michelle Obama, the event became a powerful reminder of why she and her husband had entered public service in the first place. It reinforced her commitment to staying grounded and in touch with the experiences of ordinary Americans, even while living in the unique atmosphere of the White House. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you ever felt so moved by a historic moment you were willing to break protocol or rules to be part of it? Let us know in the comments section below.